Now we are on step 2, general information of the VCF fleet deployment. This screen defines the identity mode and core services for the VCF instance we are creating. Here we select the VCF version. By default, the installer picks the latest downloaded version, which in this case is VCF 9.0. So this version must be compatible with the existing vCenter and VCF operations if you are going for brownfield. So in this case, we are going for greenfield deployment. So that is not mandatory here. Then next is VCF instance name. So this is the name, think of as a logical container for the management domain we are onboarding. So best practice is use some meaningful names, avoid spaces. Okay. Then next is about management domain name. VCF uses this name to generate object names like vCenter, distributed switch, management cluster. This name becomes part of the VCF internal naming standard. So keep it clean and consistent when you are giving this in the production support. Okay. Next is advanced networking. Here it is mentioned I want to connect VCF operations and VCF automation instances on different port groups or NSX segments. By default, VCF places VCF operations and VCF automation on the same network. If you already have separate networks or NSX segments, suppose in case if you have a brownfield environment which is already there, in that case you can enable this option. Okay, so for most new deployments, leave this unchecked unless you have a specific network design. So next is the important thing, whether you are going to deploy this VCF in the lab or in a production support. So here we have the option called simple single mode and high availability in the deployment model. This settings applies only to newly deployed appliances like VCF operations, VCF automation, NSX manager. As we are designing an greenfield setup, so we can select high availability. Suppose if it is in a production support, if it is in the lab, yes, we can select simple single node. Okay. So next is DNS and NTP server. So here you can specify the DNS domain name used by the VCF components. All forward and reverse DNS record must be exist for vCenter, NSX manager, STDC manager, VCF operations on this DNS server. So DNS domain name, DNS server, and then time server. Time server we configured here as time1.google.com, which is going to directly connect with the internet time server. Then password creation. So password creation, most of the times, we'll be using this auto generate password for newly installed appliances, because the minimum password requirement here in VCF is 15 characters. It would be very complex for us to design, in production support. I always prefer to use this auto generate password for newly installed appliances, so that we can meet the complexity rules very easily. Okay. Then finally, we have enable customer experience improvement program. If it is required, yes, you can enable it, or else you can uncheck this one. Once all required fields are filled and validated, then we need to click next to proceed with VCF operations.